The next chakra that we will go through is the throat chakra, and it is blue. And blue colors and blue lights will support this chakra. The element and sense that have to do with this is ether and sound. The note is this G on the treble clef. It has to do with the thyroid. We have a lot of thyroid issues now, and especially in Utah. The thyroid, it also controls the jaw, neck, throat, voice, airways, upper lungs, nape of neck, and arms. The stones or crystals that support this chakra: aquamarine, blue sapphire, chalcedony, and turquoise. Benzoin, eucalyptus, frankincense, and sage are oils that can benefit this chakra. The concepts related to this is free creative self-expression through the voice. You have the creativity through the genitals and the creativity through the voice. Inspiration, confidence, integrity, wisdom, truth, freedom, independence, access to subtler levels of being. The positive statements associated with this: I freely express my thoughts and feelings. I always communicate clearly and effectively. I express myself freely and easily. And I speak statements have to do with this. The foods that are beneficial: asparagus, bilberries, blueberries, plums, and potatoes. All right, so if someone has a balanced throat chakra, it would indicate a good ability to communicate. I feel like there are a lot of children being born now, all the children that we see on these amazing talent shows and the ones starting their own business and stuff like that. I feel like they have really good throat chakra energy. They're typically both receiving and expressing communication. Often a good speaker, singer, could be talented in art or instrumental music. Usually a good listener, with other really getting a sense they are understood. I don't think that's written right, but okay. Blocked. When this chakra is blocked, it's related to blocked self-expression and communication. Blockage here could mean a lack of communication, either speaking or listening. One may be afraid to say what they feel. One might allow oneself to be in difficult or painful situations and not leave. I see a lot of this in the previous generations, where a lot of our parents and grandparents would not say anything against their spouses or parents that were abusing or harming them. They had this belief that if they kept quiet, that they were righteous or good or would be not punished and be kind of more like Christ-like or peacemaker, which I think caused a lot of problems in those generations. If your throat chakra is completely closed, it indicates either a censorship over what is expressed or genuine difficulty in expressing ideas or feelings. Frequently, it is an actual careful secrecy or deception around what others are allowed to see into what is being thought and felt. If it is too expanded, strong attempts to know what is going on in others without actual communication. Can be a bit nosy, wanting to know others' thoughts or feelings without expressing your own. This chakra is typically developed around the ages of 6.5 to 8.5 years. It relates to issues of self-worth again. You'll notice that some of these will overlap because the energy lines just connect all throughout the body. Responsibility issues, the expression of desires, and our right to manifest and communicate our needs and beliefs. The entry point for positive and negative guidance, stored frustrations, pride, disillusionment, and grandeur, and the mature expression of needs and feelings, development of self-control, completion of the childhood body, and preparation for adulthood. contact point for communication between the soul, mind, and body, which is actually really real physically too. We have a connection point there in the back of our head where the spirit and the body communicate, or where we might receive more guidance from our guardian angels or from God, can be affected by that spot in the back of the head, at the top of the neck and back of the head. Age 7 is the tantrum age. It's kind of like starting age 2 again. If no one else is going to enforce the rules, then I will use my anger to move things along. Trauma in this area can lead to a lot of anger and tantrums, independence issues. If a child is not allowed to move through their anger at age 2, it shows up bigger and stronger at age 7. Behavior can often be linked to the 2-year-old. Also, if this anger linked to 2-year-old and 7-year-old is not dealt with, it can also be magnified in age 13. And again, can have a lot to do with the veil closing issues. Age 8, this is the pleaser age. Knowledge and information from birth to age 7 culminate, and now the child has the power to make decisions and take accountability. The negative side of 8 can show up in being a nonconformist, wants approval of authority figures, and spiritual transition. 8-year-olds are pleasers. They want to do what's right, usually become more aware of God. The tongue is connected to the throat chakra. The tongue is used to taste food, you know that. Emotional connection to the tongue, not speaking truth. Inability to taste the beauty and joy of life. Emotional connection to the mouth, resistant to change. Fears moving out of comfort zone, and opinionated. Emotional connection to canker sores. Unresolved negativity and emotional upset. Overwork coupled with emotional stress, and anxious over the details. The esophagus, emotions connected with esophagus or throat, feelings of anger that have been restrained, strong critical words have been spoken, swallowed emotional hurts, not having your own way, feelings of confusion, lack of discernment, and knowledge used unwisely. The thyroid, emotions connected to the thyroid are deep sense of frustration and anxiety, maybe caused by our ancestors that had the problem with talking about abuse. Okay, this thyroid problem being passed down. Not trusting self with the power to discern, fears of self-expression, and represents conflict between the conscious and the subconscious. Big deal here, especially with people who have repressed feelings or have repressed memories of abuse. Other feelings might include humiliation and shame, and feeling like I never get to do what I want. When is it my turn? This can contribute to mood swings and depression. The parathyroid. The parathyroid is a small endocrine gland that is embedded on the posterior surface of the thyroid and is concerned with calcium metabolism, just so you know. Emotional connection to the parathyroid is unresolved anger and jealousy. Black heart potato is helpful for the parathyroid. And interestingly enough, 8 hugs a day has been tested to help you absorb calcium. It has to do specifically with the parathyroid. So if you know you have a calcium issue, give and get more hugs and quality hugs. Okay, communication. If you have communication problems, here are some positive statements. I have close, fulfilling relationships. I listen and feedback with love. I allow others to share freely without interruption. I share myself freely. I am easy to talk to. I listen. I am listened to. I am honest. I see the truth. I share with others in need, and I share freely with God. Thyroid. The thyroid is also related to the triple warmer meridian. So it has to do with the axis, which is the ovaries, and the ovaries, thyroid, and adrenals, the triple warmers, brain, heart, and groins. So if you have one of those out of balance, often you'll see the other one's out of balance too, unfortunately, because one will start to bring down the other one. And we're having a lot of problems with that as well in society right now. But the positive statements for the thyroid, everything works out right for me. I am a good companion. I enjoy people. I encourage and lift up. I am kind and gentle. I'm in tune with God or the universe. I am hopeful. I have vision. I use my financial resources wisely. I am in tune with the needs of others. And then if you, oh yeah, sometimes, okay, triple warmer, I guess in, I forgot about this, in the endocrine system is the thyroid, adrenal, pituitary. But they're all very interconnected. And the trachea, the emotional connection to the trachea includes fear, closing off to life, resistance to the flow of life.